It's time to pack for Canada. How's it going, everyone? This is Kevin. Today I want to bring along with me to show you what I'm bringing on my upcoming trip. So let's jump right into it. So I have an upcoming trip to Canada where I'm going to be doing a bit of videos and photos and everything just to finish off the rest of the year. And I kind of wanted to show you what I'm going to be bringing because I have to pack a little bit different than what I did last time when I did a little bit more specific types of trips for photos and videos. So I wanted to show you what I'm going to be bringing into this trusty dandy bag over here. That way you can see what prioritizes in my bag before, going on my last trip of the year. And I'll kind of be tying into with like what's in my camera bag, but not fully obviously because I won't have everything that I use, but 99% of everything that I always bring on my trips is always in my camera bag minus one or two things, which I'll cover here shortly. So as my puppies are, getting ready to travel with us actually for this trip for what we're going to be doing, I'm going to be also, opening up my bag to show you what I plan to bring. Sorry, Napo, you can use it as a blanket. So first up is this GoPro kind of case that I have. I actually have been using it to just host like my GoPro as well as all my wireless microphones like what I'm wearing today. And a little bit of extra cables. That way I'm able to just have a little bit of a POV type of footage. So if I want to capture things from behind the scenes when it comes down to any videos that I'm making, it helps out to have that. But this has become very clutch to come here because I can simply just go ahead and make a little pouch in my camera bag right here where it just fits nice and comfortably and I don't have to worry about it too much. Now, as it comes to lenses, I'm going to be bringing the 17 to 28 that I'm currently filming with, and as always, the 35 to 150 of Tamron, both of them. I was considering bringing only the 28 to 75 and the 17 to 28, but to be honest, for what I really will need, I think the 35 to 150 will be fine, even with the bigger size that I need, but because I'll still be able to fit everything inside this camera bag pretty comfortably. Now, I'm not bringing my Sony a7S III that I'm filming with right now, sadly, but I think it'll be fine. I'm gonna be using the Sony a7 IV only for all my video needs slash some photography or most photography. And then if I wanna just have something to walk around and about, I'm gonna be bringing two other cameras that are not usually in my lineup, but I'm gonna be bringing them. It's gonna be my little point and shoot film camera as well as my Fuji XS10, just because of the size, they're pretty great to bring, they're condensed, and I'm able to fit more things in the bag just how I need to. Because I'm also gonna be bringing my wife's XS10 that I have, and I'm able to put it in the bag, that way I'm not having to bring two Sony cameras. So as in for microphones, I'm gonna be bringing my wireless lav microphones and as well my Rode Video Micro. It'll cover all the bases that I really need, and honestly does a very good job with both of these. So I've been using them all the time. This is always in my camera or basically this one. So it's kind of depending on what I'm filming. So if I know I'm not going to be too far away from the camera, put this on as well because it doesn't require any batteries. If I know that I'm going to be doing a little bit more walking around and getting farther away from the camera, the lav microphone is pretty great because I don't have to be in one direction. Let's say if I'm facing this way and the camera's over here, I would have to have the shotgun microphone be where I'm heading. And that's the reason why I kind of like to have both. So they're almost always in my camera bag. It's rare that I don't bring my lav microphone unless I know specifically the type of shoot that I'm doing that I know won't require it. But that way, it's always good to have some good microphones just in case. And now we got the trusty dandy filters. It's always good to have all your NDs and variable NDs and all that good stuff that you have. So I have the Moment, I have a Tiffin one, and then I also have a little bit of mist filters, polarizers, and a backup ND filter just in case, and a step-up ring since the Sony a7S III that I'm shooting with has a Tamron 17 to 28, and that 17 to 28 is a 67 millimeter thread. And if you notice the big chunky boy over here, this one right here has an 82 millimeter thread size. So I need to have a step-up ring so that way I don't have to use too many ND filters or whatever of different sizes. Just keep it in one and I can just toggle them around. But this has been pretty clutch when it comes down to having everything from Peter McKinnon's Nomadic line. Funny enough, which I haven't received it yet, but I won his camera bag. So once I receive it, I'll probably make a little comparison of this one to it just to see the big differences, if it's worth the, the price point or not, since I'm getting it, I won it in a contest. So I'm excited to at least have now something else from Peter McKinnon, even though I've never really bought any of his stuff except this ND filter stuff. But I always consider getting the Polar Pro, but for the price point, I'm better off with the Moment. I mean, they're just have been really good, so now you know, I guess. Let's put these back in there because, well, we don't need to have them out. Now, I do have also more batteries because you can never have too many batteries. For me, the batteries that I use are obviously the Sony ones that I have, but I also have some newer battery brands, and then just one that came a long time ago that I had with my Sony a7 III. And since they're the same camera style for the battery size, just kept them. That way I have 3 extra ones and then 2 Sony ones. So overall 5 batteries will be more than enough, obviously. And the cool thing is I have this little newer double battery kind of charger, which charges my camera battery so well. And it's just easier than having to bring just a one and only for Sony. Just makes it be a lot faster that way. So it's kind of nice. Now regarding memory for a computer, I am bringing my SSD for my MacBook, and then I have a 5 terabyte one. So 1 terabyte, 5 terabyte. That way I can edit and work with this one, transfer it all to the 5 terabyte for backups. And since I'm probably not gonna use more than a terabyte or 2 at most of footage kind of stuff, I think it'll be fine with this since it's like a little bit not as intense of videos that I have to make. So it's kind of nice, but still be kind of cool. I'm also going to be bringing this basically Peak Design lens holder. I haven't really gotten to use it much, but you're able to put it onto your camera bag, which I have these straps on them right here, which is nice so that I can put this and just go straight up into it, and I'll be able to hold my lens because I'm able to put a lens right there, and then I'm able to just go ahead and have a lens over with me and then have the other one on the camera. Since I am only bringing one of the Sony cameras, I don't have to kind of fiddle around too much between 2 cameras, which I think will make it a lot easier. And also, I mean, one of the cool things about this is that it's very, very durable from what I've used it, at least like the little bit that I have. But the Peak Designs just straps things have been really great because I can put my camera on one side, put the lens now on the other one. If I want to switch back and forth, it'll be great and easy and fast, because if I'm only gonna have one camera setup, I wanna be as fast as possible to not miss a beat. And when it comes down to computer, it'll be the MacBook Pro 16-inch. This is the 2021 model. I just made a video recently of the upgrade of it. So it's gonna be kind of nice to be able to really travel and see how it holds and everything. So it'll be the first trip with it. I've only been using it at the house, just to be able to just take my editing whenever I don't want to be in the office the whole time, just to kind of change it up. So it's been kind of nice so far with that. So it'll be interesting to go from there. It is a bit of a chunky boy, but you know, it should work better because I don't have my other Sony camera and I'm kind of condensing as much as possible, and I think it'll work out just fine. So now I'm going to kind of organize everything in here and then show you how it looks all nice and pretty, because it's always nice to see your gear all organized. So let's get to it. Got everything now situated. I got my MacBook Pro in there, cables, charger, air tag, because you always want to have those when traveling. We also have now right here our section for the GoPro stuff, the memories, the camera for film, the Fuji for my wife, my a7 IV. Got my lens under there because I'm not going to be using it while traveling really. Got the lens holder, the other microphone, and that's pretty much it. I mean, got my ND filters and everything. So I'm also going to be taking this that I usually use every time on my camera bag. It really is a beneficial one. The switch pod has been really nice because look at that, bam, nice. And then there you go. So we can keep that there. And you can't forget a little bit of gaming. Got my Switch that I'm bringing for the flight and for whenever I'm kind of bored. But that's pretty much all that I plan to bring. It might seem like a lot still, but for me, it's kind of a lot less than I thought I was gonna bring. I'm not bringing extra film. I'm not bringing extra memory banks. I'm not bringing a lot of like my second camera, obviously, and just stuff like that. So I'm trying to bring it as condensed as I can for the trip as well, because we're gonna have the dogs with us in cabin. But it should be kind of interesting to travel with the dogs as well. Having to, bring everything that we need to for them and for the gear just makes, gotta plan it accordingly. but I think we should be covered for all the bases because the Sony a7 IV just does great photo and video. I was contemplating to bring my a7S III versus that and then just use my Fuji for some photos, but for the type of videos that I'll be doing, I don't think I really need to have too much of that low light capabilities, despite Canada being dark at night early, I guess, but the Sony a7 IV can still handle it pretty much fine. So I mean, I don't think it'll be too intense that I would need to go that heavily, since most of the time I'll light it correctly or work with the light that I can and make sure that it works out. So yeah, that's all I plan to bring, and that's mainly what I have in my camera bag most of the time. I honestly, the only thing that I added a little bit different was the Fuji camera and the point and shoot film camera. Usually I don't bring that one, I bring another one if needed be, but most of the time for my everyday bag kind of carry, I have my Sony a7S III, a7 IV, Tamron 17-28, Tamron 35-150, my microphones, whether it's the lav microphone or the shotgun microphone. I bring both of those most of the time into the little GoPro bag, and then I also bring my GoPro because in case I want to do some POV shooting style or some behind the scenes, that's technically what I plan to do. But I'm also going to be using as a backup camera my phone. I've been using the cinematic mode that has worked pretty great, to be honest, and even from the video that I made, a lot of people were like good with it. So I'm gonna try to see if I can use that as well to get by whenever it's needed, and challenge myself to not worry so much about the gear itself, but more about how to make sure the storyline and compositions and everything just makes sense for me for the gear that I need to bring for the upcoming travels and videos. So hopefully, it's a little bit of an insight of what I kind of use on the daily. Obviously my Switch, I don't really bring it with me all the time. I might need to now because it's very fun to play all the time. But other than that, I mean, having just a gear that I have available to me is a gear that I really wanted to get. I didn't just get anything just to get. Everything has a purpose, and that's what I try to tell people, is to focus on getting gear that you're going to be using. I've made a video about that before, don't get the gear that you're going to neglect. Get gear that you're going to have fun with, that it's going to make you want to go create and just enjoy yourself out there. And that's the gear that I usually get for myself. There's a reason why I don't have much of my primes that I used to have after getting the Tamron 35-150, because the 35-150 just motivated me to go out to create, and I think there's no purpose in having extra gear that I'm going to neglect. Even now, I still feel like I have too much gear sometimes with even my Fuji cameras, but since film is expensive to shoot all the time, I kind of been just, wanting to go with the recipes and find some that I enjoy and just kind of not worry so much about having to edit them and just find the recipes that I enjoy, and that's it. But overall, that's pretty much what's in my camera bag most of the time, and now it's going to be in my camera bag for this upcoming travel, trying to do as light as possible. Excited to put some challenges to myself and see whatever comes this way, and I'll be documenting a lot of it so that I can show you guys how well it goes with this travel and update you if I should have brought my second Sony camera and just sucked up the extra weight, if you will. But that's pretty much it, is what it is at this situation, and I'm just excited to get to travel. But with all that said and done, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, share this video with a friend. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.